Well, hello there. And today we're going to look at the history song of My Way. Now, this is a very famous song. It was recorded by Frank Sinatra in 1969, and it has been covered by hundreds of artists over the years. But who wrote the song? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. So let's start off with the composer. The music was composed by Paul Anka, and if you don't know who he is, well, he's a Canadian singer-songwriter who's had a string of hits over the years. In fact, he had his first big hit in 1957 with Diana, and then he went on to write songs for other artists. In fact, he wrote Put Your Arms Around Me, Honey for Johnny Mathis and My Way for Frank Sinatra. He also had a few more hits himself, like Lonely Boy, Put Your Head on My Shoulder and She's a Lady. But he didn't just write songs. He also hosted a popular TV show in the 1960s. So he was pretty busy. Now, Paul Anka wrote My Way when he was only 19 years old, and he was inspired to write it after reading the autobiography of General Charles de Gaulle, who was the president of France. And in the book, de Gaulle talked about how he had lived his life his way, even though most people thought he was crazy. And that really inspired Anka to write a song about living life your own way. Now, when he first wrote it, he wrote it for himself, but then he decided that it would be a better song if it was recorded by Frank Sinatra. And he was right. Frank Sinatra recorded it in 1969, and it became one of his signature songs. It was also covered by many other artists over the years, including Elvis Presley, Sid Vicious, Marilyn Manson, and even Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. So what about the lyricist? Well, the lyrics were written by Jacques, and he was a French songwriter who wrote songs for a number of famous artists, including Dalida Charles Aznavour and Joe Dassin. He also wrote the lyrics for My Way, but he didn't just write lyrics, he also composed music. In fact, he had a big hit in 1968 with a song called Les Champs. Now, he didn't have much success outside of France, but he's still considered one of the greatest French songwriters of all time. So, there you have it. That's the history of My Way, one of the most famous songs of all time. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Thanks for watching.